Hello, hello, how are you? It's Mags Galden with Grandma's Jeans. Had a question come up. Wanted to see if I could do anything to help this person out. It's regarding doing a root search from WikiTree. And we'll get that up full screen here. So this is Lillian Dixon Sellers' profile on WikiTree. Over here to the right, you see that there's different menus, drop-down menus. My WikiTree, Dixon 2867, which is for Lillian. The add drop-down, the find, and the help. The help drop-down is full of all sorts of good stuff. But for right now, we want to go to the Dixon 2867 drop-down menu, and we want to scroll down to research. And that will bring us to the root search WikiTree integration, which is a great little tool. You have to log in again like you're logging back into WikiTree. And you see here on this page, it filled in all the information for Lillian Dixon, gave a birth date, death date, father's given name of Douglas, mother's given name of Alice, and her maiden name of Ewing. If you have a friend named Eowyn, it's really hard to learn how to say Ewing. Anyway, so it gives a lot of information. Down here at the bottom, there's several different places that you could search. Find My Past UK is a paid-for site, but it's a really good site for UK information. Ancestry.com has a lot of great information in their sourcing information, and it is a pay-for site. Find a Grave site is very good, and it is free as well. It's owned by Ancestry now. Family Search is run by the LDS Church and is an incredibly good free research site to do a lot of research for your family and for information. It has census records, has birth and death records, and you'll find a lot of Family Search records are also connected on Ancestry as well. You also have Google Search down here. And what this does for you is it inputs automatically all of the relevant information for a genealogical search on Google Search. MyHeritage is probably good in that they might have some sources and information. You can also, at the bottom, click on More, and you can come up with American Ancestors.org, Ancestry Archives. That should be enabled on my search. Billion Graves is also a paid-for site for finding graves, chronicling America, about newspaper directories. The Family Search is enabled. Find a Grave is enabled. Find My Past UK is enabled. FindMyPast.com. And Fold3, which is a military site. Genealogy Online and Genealogy Bank, Geneanet, Genealogy Gophers should be enabled. That is one of my favorite sites. And then Google Search is enabled. There's lots of other things like newspaper.com, which is a for-pay site. Open Archives is good. US GenWeb Archives is really great. And I'm trying to find people, find information about mainly free sites for the answer to this question. So I've enabled a bunch of things here for the free information, and I'm going to go back here, and we'll go back to the research search, and all of those that we've ID'd, the ones that we enabled will show up. It's like Ancestry, Find a Grave is still there, MyHeritage is still there. Archives, Genealogy Gophers, Open Archives, Family Search, Google Search. I suggest if you're doing a free search for genealogy information, go to Family Search first. Click on Family Search, and it's going to look for information. The first thing to do is look over to the left and make sure that you've got the information up there you want. I don't see anything in the birth information, so we want to make sure that that gets taken over. So she was born in 1889, not real sure about the location. We'll go back to the root search page, and it is there. I don't know why Family Search didn't pick it up, but we'll click that in here, paste it, and we'll update that information. So Lillian Stair Dixon, mother, Ontario deaths, overseas deaths. Ewing McPhee Sellers, George William Sellers. So it looks to me like this is going to be the woman that we're looking for, Lillian Stair. And here's one with the same husband, Ewing Sellers. And it even gives a child, and this is British Columbia death registrations, and that is as she is the mother of Douglas Stephen Sellers. So that gives you not only her name, that there's a record for her, but it's for her son for his death. And that other, May Haw, you don't know if that's his wife or it could be the person who was the informant for the death certificate. So there you have that information. The fact that it didn't auto-populate that age, the birth year there, may be why you were having problems getting the information to come up. Always check on the left side to make sure that there's information there. You can even take out some of this information over on the left, relationships to spouse, fathers, mothers, if you want to dumb it down some, and it'll give you more possible information and maybe a couple of obscure records that aren't showing up because you have too much information. Sometimes it's good to start out with a really, really empty search, like just the name and the birth year, maybe the birthplace, without all the rest of it. And sometimes you get a lot more information that way. All right, because there are a lot of these records that may show up for Lillian Stair Dixon who were not actually before she was actually married or had kids. So you might be able to find more information without the extra relationships. You can put marriage in, you could put in residence, you could put in death if you know, and you could put anything in if you wanted to know, any place, any date range to find information. So you know that that she worked in the military and she was working during World War I, obviously not because of her age, but you would, well, maybe she would have. She could have been working a nurse in France. You could look for her in France, see if anything turns up. On back to the search information, you can also go to a fun site, Genealogy Gophers, and click to see if they have anything. And they'll give you just about everything on Lillian Dixon, or Lillian. See Gibbs, Betty Lillian, Archer Street, Dixon, which is probably going to be a home in Australia. So with this, you might want to go up here and give a little bit more information on it as well. So you know that she's in Canada. So we'll type in Canada and see what happens. We could put in Sellers, since we know that was her married name, and see what happens, see what we come up with that. And we came up empty. So Genia Gophers, but that's a fun place to look as well. And you could try using different parameters for these fields. You could put in something more specific to the place if you know it, for where she lived. So let's go back to root search to another one. Let's go to just a general Google search. So Lillian Dixon genealogy, Ancestry. This is basically an ad for Ancestry, but I don't know if it's going to be who we're looking for. We'll click on it and see. And it's not. Well, it could be. She was born in, no, neither one of these are good. So we can go back. Sometimes it's a matter of looking through. We know Hooper is not. We know Rabe is not. We know Dines is not Reed. And then Lillian Dixon, mother of 0, Ancestry. And then family tree for Lillian Dixon Sellers. And we see that that is back for WikiTree, which is where we started. All right, so there's also something down here about Dixon genealogy. Oh, and that's what we're looking for already. So back to root search. You could also do, I don't know if US GenWeb archives, because that's very US centric. but it throws up some people, but it's not going to be who we're looking for because it's US only. We could look in Open Archives, and Open Archives gives us some no results. So at this point, the best thing to do is going to go with the family search results, and then try wiggling these parameters in some of these search fields to see if those will garner you some more information, some more answers. And real quickly, I'll take a look at Ancestry.com and see what we can come up with. Just right off the bat, without being signed in, I can see that there's a Lillian Dixon Canada voters list. You can't see more unless you pay, but you can at least see that there is something there for her. For Ontario, I don't know if that is this woman. La Madeleine, Quebec, no, doubt it. Carleton. There's a lot of Lillian Dixons that are coming up in British Columbia and Ontario. So you could actually run through there and see. And Ancestry is only what, 40 or 50 bucks Canadian a month. So if you really, really, really want to look and you see that there's a lot of information for somebody that you want to look for, you can only sign up. You can sign up for only a month and you still might get your answers. So good luck. Bump up those search parameters. We can also look on Find a Grave real quick. Canadian Find a Grave searches are hit and miss. See Ohio, New Zealand, Manchester, England, unless she went, no, this isn't going to be her. So it's the Canadian burials on Find a Grave are hit and miss. So you probably won't be able to find that just through there. So that's it. You can look at that information. You can use the root search and play with some of those parameters in the search fields and see if you can get more information to come up. You might add her middle name or take away her maiden name and just have her listed in with her sellers, her married name. That might help with a free search. Good luck. See you later.